We're going to go ahead and get started this morning. I see we have attendees from all across the state, and that's great to see. If we could all have you, if you're not speaking, place your audio on mute. If you go to the little control panel that should be on your screen and click the microphone to make sure you're muted, we won't have any extraneous noise during the presentation, and then we can have you take your phone off mute later if there are any questions you'd like to ask. But for now, if you could mute your line, that would be really helpful for us. Good morning and welcome, everyone. This is Ken Howell. I am currently the Rotary District Governor now for about 2 weeks. And actually, I'm speaking to you from Gooding, where I'm staying in a bed and breakfast waiting for my appearance at the governor's visitation meeting to the Gooding Club this morning. What we're going to talk about this morning is the leadership of our district, and the topic we have this morning is Know, Build, and Enhance Your Rotary Brand. We spent some time at PETS, and you've seen some communication talking about the importance of membership to our district and how we have fallen somewhat in membership. And what we really want to do is find ways to assist our club leadership to energize their club and enhance leadership opportunities and also increase membership in our district. What I'm trying to advance the slide, Jennifer, and I still don't see the mouse. I've got mouse control, but I can't advance the slide. Maybe you could jump in there and just advance to the next slide for me.
Okay, hold on here. Oops.
This is our first overall outing doing these meetings by GoToMeeting. So if there's a few glitches here and there, I apologize. But what we're trying to do throughout the rest of the year is find a way to do these kind of presentations as much as we can on the web to minimize the cost and expense of travel for everyone. Looks like it's down there on the lower left. Oh, perfect. Okay. So what you should have in front of you is the slide showing our 15-16 regional membership plan. And in kind of broad strokes, really what we're trying to do is strengthen clubs, find ways to help you with attracting new members to your club. And probably as important, if not more important, is member engagement. And that is to say, once we have members in the club, we want to make sure they're engaged, that your club is active and vital. The information that we've gathered as we've studied the membership issue over a long period of time is that a lot of members leave in the first year or two. In fact, our statistics are that within the first 3 years, we lose 50% of new members to clubs. But if those members come in and are active and engaged in the club, they become good, long-standing Rotarians. And if they're engaged, they're doing what we want Rotarians to do, which is doing good in their community and good in the world. And that's really what it's all about. So Jennifer, why don't we try the next slide? We have a district goal that Rick Phillips, our immediate past district governor, and I have been working on for the past couple of years. Overall, what we would like to do is see our membership return to the level that it was in July of 2010. And that is, will require that we increase our current membership by 10%. Right now, we're at 1,812. And if we increase that by 10%, plus or minus, that puts us at a nice even 2,000 members. And that would bring us back just to where we were in 2010 and reverse the accelerated loss we had during the recession and the immediate aftermath. So this is someplace we've been before. We've been to 2,000 members and quite some over that. So we know that there is appetite and demand in Idaho, in our district, to have that kind of membership. And that's what our goal is for the year. And we're going to be spending a lot of time throughout the year, and I'll be spending some time in my governor visits talking about the importance of this membership and the things that we need to do to increase it. As a secondary member or secondary goal, really what I'd like is to have us increase individual club membership by 10% per club. Now that may seem a little counterintuitive if the overall goal is 10%, but I'd like to see this as a broad-based membership increase across our district and not just have it concentrated in either a few of the smaller clubs or a few of the larger clubs. Next slide, Jennifer. Currently entered into Rotary Club Central, the clubs that you see on the screen in front of you have entered their Rotary goals for membership. And this is great. I congratulate you on doing it. It's something we need to do to keep track of our membership and our progress goal. And also, as you learned in PETS, having a Rotary membership goal is one of the, entered online on Rotary Club Central, is one of the requirements for presidential citations. So congratulations, you've ticked off at least one of the requirements on the checklist for a presidential citation. So we're going to be working with you as individual clubs based on the goals that you've set for membership and finding ways to help you to meet those goals. Jennifer? And now I'm going to turn it over to Rich Kirkham for what really comprises the meat of this particular audio presentation in enhancing your Rotary brand. And I think at the end, Rich will talk a little bit about how that affects membership. Rich, it's all yours, and thank you for leading this discussion.
Well, thank you, Ken and Jennifer, for putting this webinar together today, and hello to all of you who've tuned in and maybe who are listening to a recording later on. It's really a pleasure to be part of this first webinar, and I count it a privilege. I hope I can share something that will be of help to each of you as you work to grow your membership and your goals. Can you advance the slide, Jennifer?
I will. Do you want to try it, Rich? I've turned it over to you. You can see if you can work. And
okay. I did it. Oh, good. Very good. So we contemplate through this webinar today to help you take a look at your value proposition, or what you might call your brand. And when we talk about brand, we think back maybe a century ago, cattle ranchers used branding irons to indicate which animals were theirs. It was sort of a way of identifying the group. But we're not talking about that kind of brand. And of course, with the rise of packaged goods in the 19th century, a lot of producers put their trademarks on a widening variety of products, everything from cough drops to flour, sugar, beer. This was to indicate the source, but we're not talking about that kind of brand either. Beginning later in the 20th century, the marketers out there began to grasp there was really more to the perception of different products and services than just the name, something that described, we could call it the intangible sum of a product's attributes. Now, marketers realized they could create a specific perception in their customers' minds concerning the qualities and attributes of each non-generic product or service, and they took to calling this perception the brand. Simply put, your brand is what others think of when they hear your club name. It's how you're perceived by others. It's everything the public thinks it knows about your club, both factual and emotional. Your club name exists objectively, of course, and people can see that. It's fixed. But your club brand exists only in someone's mind, and it will differ a great deal from person to person. So like all Rotary clubs, the Pocatello Rotary Club definitely has a brand of its own, and it's one that we're very proud of as a club. First, in our community, I see the Pocatello Rotary Club as being the who's who's club. And that's because so many distinguished members belong to this club. The list includes senators and university presidents, bank presidents, ecclesiastical leaders, corporate executives, hospital administrators, school board trustees. We have surgeons, dentists, cardiac physicians, attorneys, investors, manufacturers, in short, business professionals of all kinds. And we often promote our club by saying, where else can you go for lunch and enjoy the company of so many accomplished and well-connected people? So the Pocatello Club is quite simply a who's who's club in our community. Second, the Pocatello Club is often the club where information is first shared because leaders of so many businesses, organizations, and agencies are involved in our club. So often they will choose to make announcements to the public through a presentation of some kind. We're sort of the de facto city club of Pocatello. Third, the Pocatello Rotary Club is the club for business. We have a reputation, and it's been built over many years, that this is a club for finance and economics. We're seen as a club that can raise money for worthy causes, and we're sort of a linchpin between bankers and business owners, attorneys, and accountants, consultants, and entrepreneurs. And we have very strong ties here to Idaho State University's College of Business. In a word, the Pocatello Rotary Club is the IT club for our community. It's the place that people should go. People want to identify with a strong, influential group, and our brand matters to us because it's well known in the community who we are and what we stand for. It's what keeps prospective members interested in learning about who we are and wanting to come and give Rotary a try. Now that we've built our brand, it's created some momentum that continues to move us forward, I think, in a steady pace. And it's our job really to, at this point, not to let complacency eat away at what we've built. So we really try to resist the urge to cheapen our product or to downgrade our standards. We want people to be attracted to the brand that we have. Now, that being said, we have to bear in mind that your strength can also be your downfall. So you got to remember and be careful when you have a brand like ours, because often we're sort of viewed as being an exclusive club or an old club, or that we are lacking somehow in diversity. And we noticed this, and so we decided to take an initiative in the case of, for example, with young professionals. And we noticed that a lot of young professionals at first felt a little intimidated by our club and our brand. And at first glance, they think they can't relate. They shy away a little bit, and they sort of have this perception, again, that they don't belong. And so we created a program that we call the Test Drive Rotary Program. In short, the program invites young professionals to come and try our club for free for a period of 6 months and experience who we are and what we do. The program is only about 8 months old at this point, but so far we're very pleased with the candidates who have applied for these internships. And once these young professionals get to know us, frankly, they experience the Rotary feeling, and they are choosing to join the club long term. We're really happy to have them. And for any of you who are interested more in our test drive program, you can go to our website. There's a nice link there on the front page and a video that explains the test drive program. So how did we develop our brand? Well, first of all, it just didn't happen overnight. Our club has been around for 96 years, and we've built on a tradition of excellence, leadership, and success. So we're really proud of the legacy that's come down to us through the years from the many Pocatello Rotarians who have preceded us. We've also, of course, built some very strong public relations ties in our community that have integrated us very much in the community. These people in our club who are part of the PR committee, they work very hard to get the word out about who we are. For example, we have the publisher of the Idaho State University, of Idaho State Journal. He's an active member of our club and a member of our PR committee. We also have on our committee an owner of several major radio stations here in town, an owner of a billboard company, several members of the club whose job is public relations in their own firm. So whenever our PR committee looks at our programs and they decide that we have a program that is of public interest, they immediately will send out a press release to the newspaper, which the paper will generally run, and they will send a reporter to cover the meeting. It's not unusual to have the TV station there filming and interviewing at our club meetings. But you need to have very high-profile programs to command this kind of presence in the media. But this is part of our brand. We work very hard at it so that we can attract these sorts of speakers. Third, we strive to have programs that have very relevant content. And so next to our board of directors itself, I think our club program committee is our strongest committee in our club. They meet once a month at 7:30 at Elmer's, and they review and critique past meetings, and they consider ideas for future meetings. They're very, very dedicated. They plan out several months in advance, and they go after the very best speakers and presenters that we can possibly find. This committee is fun to visit because they really have lively and varied interests, and their discussions are very fascinating. It's actually a bit difficult even to get a slot to speak at our club because we strive so hard to have high-quality speakers, and lots of people want to give a program at our club. We address topics of local interest as well as Rotary topics. We're generally scheduled out about 3 months in advance. A fourth aspect of our club that has helped us establish our brand is our service projects. We have some very traditional and very high-profile service projects that we carry out in our community. One such event is the Nutcracker Ballet. We've been doing that for many years. Another one is the high school rodeo, which is a more recent project that we have picked up. And then finally, in this day and age, social media does so much to mold your brand, and this is very important in establishing who you are. So we have a very attractive, at least we think, an active Facebook presence. We have a very excellent website, and when people visit these sites, they will form an opinion about who you are and what you do. So ask yourself, is your social media saying what you want to say about your club? This is our website. We feel we have an excellent website. We use it as a recruitment tool, and we're always asking ourselves, what are people looking for when they come to our site? What would I like to see if it was the first time I visited the site? We actually maintain two sites. One is our public site, and the other one is our members-only site. So you ask yourself, what does your social media say about your club? This is our members site, and of course only members can go there, and that's where we keep the more confidential information, names and so forth, directories, that sort of thing. You can download club documents there, and you can, of course, see the club organization, what committees we have, and what our goals are, that sort of thing. That's all on the private side. Our program schedule here, and our officers and directors, all of that information is on the member side. So you might be asking, all right, well, what are you doing today to enhance your brand right now? Well, as I mentioned a moment ago, we realize we really can't be complacent about our success, and so we know that each brand is such that the people will want to come to our club and meet other like-minded people. So after evaluating if we were meeting their needs, we decided to take some steps this year to help enhance and build on our brand. And we want to keep people coming for the reasons that they initially started to come. And one of the things that we're doing, starting July 1st, we organized a new committee called the Social Events Committee. We know that members join our club because they want to network and get to know people. And sometimes 1 hour lunch meeting are as structured and rigorous as our meetings are isn't enough time to get to know people. So we want to give more additional opportunities for members to get together and encourage relationship building and to increase their engagement and their likelihood of retention. The goal of the committee is to plan at least 4 new social events for members this coming year. So yesterday, after our club meeting, this committee got together and they were starting to organize, and I just popped into their little meeting, and guess what I overheard? Well, they're planning a shooting activity, and that's not all they have planned. They're also looking at doing a club potluck picnic in the park. They're planning a bike ride and a harvest dinner for all the families and members and their friends to come and to get to know each other. So these social activities will help to strengthen our brand as a club, and in the sense that we will be a club that cares about one another, a club that really enjoys good fellowship. Another initiative that we started, and this was just a little over a year and a half ago, was to record and then rebroadcast our club meetings over the internet. This started out as a service to one of our members who's a shut-in. He can't come to our meetings. But since then it's grown. We found a lot of applications for this, and people are watching our meetings for a variety of reasons. If a member can't be at one of the meetings, he or she can tune in either live or sometime later and still watch the meeting. When we have a topic that's of particular interest, this is a way members can share that meeting with others who didn't have the chance to come to the meeting. So these broadcasts give our brand a new edge that says our meetings are important enough to broadcast and archive. So, by the way, if you're interested in this, this is a free service that you can get from Ustream, and it's very easy to accomplish this. One of our young professional interns has a smartphone. He records these. When he comes in, he just turns it on, and after the meeting, he uploads it to our Facebook link and sends out an email to everybody in the club. And if you miss the meeting, you can do a makeup by watching the video. And we have a lot of varied interest on that from the community as well. So our brand is just one of many that you're going to find as you look around Idaho at all the clubs. Other clubs, of course, have their own brands. Emmett is really known to be the workhorse club, and Boise Southwest is a club for the adventurous types. Nampa is the fun club. McCall, the best view club that you'll ever find. The point is, you have to know who you are, and then you have to be that very, very well. Use that strength to attract more people to your club and continually ask, are we being the best version that we possibly can be of our brand? What else can we do to build out our brand and to make it stand out? Let's take Emmett again, for example. What are they doing to portray themselves as the workhorse club? Well, they do lots of projects and they get lots of local PR to tell their story consistently. They are just another great example of how a club knows who they are, and they build on their brand, providing outlets for their members to increase their engagement by meeting their expectations. Another way you can accomplish this if you're not sure what your brand is just to ask your members what attracted them to the club in the first place, and what do they like about it now. SurveyMonkey.com is really a great way for you to easily poll your members, and it's free. This is a recent survey that we did in our club, and the results we got were, well, they were astonishing. We asked 4 questions. What do you like about our club? What don't you like about our club? Do you feel engaged in our club? And what would you like to do to be more engaged this coming year? Those were the 4 questions. It was sort of interesting because within 96 hours, we had 32 responses back, and it just opened up our minds as a board so much to see the results of that survey. I'd encourage everybody to survey your members and ask them what they think. And another way, if you're not sure what your brand really is that you can do what's called a club assessment. And there are, of course, club assessment tools out there that can help you identify your strengths and your weaknesses. And you can ask yourself, are your strengths apparent to the outsider? Are they apparent to your members? Another way to identify your brand is just to reach out to your less active Rotarians and ask them to share with you what they think would make the club better. Now, I'll just share a quick story about this. We recently had our annual board retreat, and we have a member who's really a very prominent member of our community and is an excellent trainer, but has not been coming to Rotary for quite a while. And I just reached out to him and I said, we're having our board retreat. I'd love to have you come and do some training. And he very graciously agreed. And of course, this was a very engaging event, and he did an excellent job of doing the training. And when it was all over, he said to me, you know, I just can't believe that nobody has asked me to do anything in the club. I really enjoyed being here tonight, and I want to get re-engaged in what we're doing because you have an excellent thing going here. So it was a double win. We got excellent training and help from him, and he got re-inspired to get involved in what our club is doing. So, in summary, sit down, think about who you are as a club, define your brand, develop a strategy to promote and enhance it, and then go forward and build on what you have discovered. And if you do, you and your club will truly be a gift to the world. Thank you, Jennifer.
Thank you, Rich. I very much appreciate all of your comments. I am just blown away by everything that your club is doing. It's clear that you're working very hard on being a vibrant and relevant club to help further engage your members. At the beginning of the call, Ken talked about the importance of membership engagement because of our attrition rate for new members. And because of the district's goal for an emphasis on membership development, we knew as the membership committee it was very important that we outline a specific plan to take actions to come alongside of the clubs to really help you think about this and how you can work on continuing to make your own clubs vibrant and relevant to your members. And so today's leadership call is one of our action items. We are going to be having 4 calls this year every quarter, and I'll be interested to get your feedback here in a few minutes as to whether or not you like this meeting time and meeting day. We're trying out some different things, obviously, with the go-to meeting and doing this during the week and during the middle of the day. And I know some of you in your business world that may or may not be a good fit for you. So I'm going to ask for your feedback on that. But, you know, as I mentioned, we're doing this quarterly. And when I called Rich, I said, Rich, what's the one thing more than anything that you think makes your club successful? And he said, it's our reputation. And from that, you know, this information was created and talking about who they are and their brand and how they continue to focus on that. And I just so appreciate everything you guys are doing. And I think what's most important is you're not being complacent. You're continuing to ask, is it still relevant? Are we meeting expectations? Are we helping our members to be engaged? So I very much appreciate your help today, Rich, in sharing what you're doing. It's clear to me that you have Rotary in your heart. So I now want to, I'm going to unmute the line, and so everybody should, if you haven't muted your own line, I have opened it up on my end, and the phone should open. So if you would like to ask Rich some questions, or if you have your own best practice on how you have identified, you know, and how you're building and continuing to enhance your brand, I would love to get the questions from the group, suggestions, comments. So please speak up if you have a question or comment.
Jennifer, I might just start out. James wrote a question and texted it. It says, do you take any applicant for your test drive, or do you have qualifications for new members? Would someone need to qualify for the test drive program, or is it open to everyone? It is a test drive that is specifically open only to young professionals. We define that as someone who is established in their career, but they're under the age of 40. There are some other qualifications. If they accept the internship, they have to agree to attend at least 80% of our meetings, or to do makeups, that they have to engage in at least 2 of our club service projects during the 6 months that they're an intern, and to get involved in a couple of our committees, and we find that those are very easy qualifications for people to meet. We've thought about expanding it to others, but we don't seem to have as much difficulty attracting older members to our club, the ones that are, I would just say, super established. It's the young professionals who seem to be just a little bit put off or standoffish towards us. So it's that group that we need their feedback. We need to know what we need to do to have more appeal to them. And one of the things is, you know, we're perceived as being a very expensive club to belong to. We're really not, but we do have that feeling about us. So we're once they get in and experience this test drive and they see what it's all about, it's just as affordable really as almost any other Rotary plan that's out there, and they see a lot of value in being able to come in and be mentored by these amazing people we have in our club. And again, if you want to learn more about it, we have a wonderful video that we produced. It's on our website, PocatelloRotary.org, and you can go there and click on the Young Professional link and watch that video, or you can find it also on YouTube.
Hey, Rich, what's your conversion rate from people that do the test drive to actually signing up and becoming full-time members?
Well, so far we have run, like I said, this is a new program for us. We've had 8 months in it. Our first intern ended his internship 2 months ago, and he immediately joined the club. We had another person who applied to be in the test drive program, and then they said, you know, we're all for it. I'm just going to join the club. And so they came directly into the club. They didn't go through the test drive. We have 2 interns now that are in there, and our board had approved the funding for 3 interns. And so what we wanted to do was go through this first batch of our interns and then evaluate it as a board to see if it was worth the investment. But I'll tell you, from my perspective, the strength and the quality of these young professionals that we're seeing coming in is very much worth the investment, and we're excited to have them in our club, and they're making a big difference.
That's a great program, Rich. One comment I wanted to make, you guys are doing a lot, and you have a lot of programs and support material and resources in place. And so for those of you that are listening on the call, I don't want you to be overwhelmed and feel like you need to, you know, oh my goodness, we need to go out and do, you know, these 10 things that we're not doing. I think, you know, it's what Rich talked about before. Make sure you think about, you know, who are we? What is our strength? How are we going to capitalize on that? And how are we going to tell that story? And, you know, take some of these great ideas that Rich has shared with you today and figure out maybe how you can implement 1 or 2 and baby step your way, you know, in that general direction. You guys have so many great things that are happening, and you've shared so many great ideas today. So I want clubs that if you hear something and you think, well, that sounds really interesting to me, to just take pieces of this as it is appropriate for your club and begin to figure out how you can develop and implement those within your own club. Does anybody else have any comments or questions? I know Jim Hogue asked if there was going to be a way, or we're recording this, and how would people access this. So we will be sending out this link. So if maybe you're your club president and you would like your membership chair or, you know, a program chair or somebody to hear this information, this link will be sent out to you, the recorded meeting, and you can share that with others as you see fit. We also have a second call-in option on July 29th at 9 a.m. For people where today's date didn't work. So they have that opportunity to attend another live session where they can have that interaction. But the recording link will be sent out for others to watch. Other comments or questions?
I have a question. Oh, go ahead.
This is Mary Baker, and my question is regarding the survey. Rick, you mentioned that you found some interesting conclusions based on what the members stated. Could you share a few things that may be relevant to the rest of us in terms of engagement?
Yeah, you know, I was really kind of blown away that the vast majority, of course, of the comments were very positive and very encouraging, but there were some really valid criticisms there. For example, there were members that said it wouldn't matter what I suggested, my ideas wouldn't matter, and that sort of hurt me to think that we have club members that feel like they don't have a voice or that their ideas aren't important. But I remember back when I was a new member of our club, I was very shy about sharing my ideas, and if I had passions, I didn't think that they would necessarily be shared by our club, and so I kept a lot of that to myself. And as a result of that, we have really taken a strong initiative to sort of break our club down into smaller units to make our committees more important, where anybody can get involved in a committee. We have 25 committees in our club, and they range anywhere in size from a committee of 1 or 2 up to a committee of a dozen or more. And so people can get involved in that way. Their ideas can filter up to the board, and they do matter. And we want to see that everybody's ideas be important. So that was, one specific kind of feedback we got in our polling. We had some comments about our meeting place and about food and the things that you might typically expect to see. But by and large, it was very revealing to us, and we made a list of about 10 action items from the poll of things that we wanted to move forward and try to change about our club in terms of perception, because that's really what your brand is a perception, and it's not the same for everybody, obviously.
Right, and I have one more question regarding that, because I've been thinking about doing a survey and I looked at the club assessment. I appreciate the fact that you only had 4 simple questions. Did you give that some serious thought before you sent that out versus asking some deeper questions, or did you want it short so that they would definitely respond?
Well, at PATS, they suggested to new presidents, incoming presidents, that we should do this polling, and those were really the questions that they said we should ask. What do you like about the club? What don't you like about the club? And so really the design of the survey came straight from the training we got at PATS. I know that I don't like long polls, and it was very easy to put a quick survey like that together. We got a very high response rate, and I think that we're going to do this regularly. Every couple months we'll send out some kind of a little survey, but it'll be short, 1 or 2 questions. And I think if you do it, you'll find you get good results. That's what we learned anyway.
Okay, thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I agree. I feel like your questions they're very open, and they get to the heart of the point. What do you like? What do you not like? Are you engaged? If not, what would change that? So you'll get a tremendous amount of information back. So at this point, we're going to move forward. We have about 5 minutes left, and I want to share with you a concept that the district's membership committee has developed. Ken and I were on a call a while back ago. It was facilitated by Rotary International in helping to share membership development ideas. And there was a district, I believe in Turkey, that had what they called their orientation boot camp. And I know that clubs approach orientation differently, and that's as they should, because everybody's unique and you have to do what's right for you. But I know it can be a challenge. And so we discussed it amongst our committee and decided that our district was going to try to put together a district orientation event. So we have put the foundation for that in place. And so we are introducing on this call Rotary 101, a quick start guide to service above self. So this orientation exists to come alongside the clubs in what they're doing. It's not a replacement of your own orientation program. It's meant to complement you because, Rotary engagement is everyone's job. It is the club's job. It is the district's job to help support you. And then finally, it's the members' job to identify what they can do to put more of themselves into Rotary. And this Rotary 101 does not replace Rotary Leadership Institute. Rotary Leadership Institute is a deep dive into Rotary. Rotary 101 is just that. It's the basics. It's that foundational information that we as Rotarians in leadership, we have acquired a Rotary knowledge over years of attending different events and learning more about Rotary's organization and structure and the good work through the foundation and all of those acronyms and those things that are a little bit foreign to our new members. So this is another initiative and another effort on the district's part to, again, really help you with that membership development. We're not going to just say, here's the goal, go do it, and just how. We are coming alongside of you and supporting you in this effort. So as you can see, we have one in Boise, one in Twin Falls, and a third one in Pocatello on these different dates. There is a cost to it to help simply just cover the expense. So what we're asking our clubs to consider is sponsoring new members. So in our definition of a new member, anybody that has been in the club in 3 years or less. So consider sponsoring them and perhaps even their spouse, so that they have that family support, and we continue to encourage Rotary in our families. And you are going to be getting a flyer next week with all of the details about this orientation event. It is open to all Rotarians, but we are certainly encouraging those new members to come. These events are on a Thursday evening from 5:30 to 8. So again, on the flyers, you're going to be receiving that information with all of the details. Please promote this within your clubs. Encourage those new members to attend. Hopefully we're giving you this information well in advance of the date, so they have plenty of time to get this on their calendar and save the date. So again, this is just one more effort to help with engagement. We believe that if the members feel valued by their club and they feel they are of value to their club, they will stay and they will tell others. And then lastly, I wanted to share some other dates with you. These save the dates are additional membership-oriented events. So there are other district events that are occurring, and you'll find those dates on the district's website along with these. So I've already shared with you, obviously today we're on our leadership call. We have option call-in date number 2 on the 29th. And then I wanted to make you aware that August is membership month. As you know, Rotary has different themes. And you're going to also be receiving next week, along with this Rotary 101 flyer, a little document that's just going to help you think about membership and how we can focus on this in the month of August, but understanding that it is an ongoing process and something that we need to be mindful of year-round. But this is a month where maybe we should step back and say, what are we doing? What more could we be doing? And then we're having our next leadership call on August 23rd or November 4th. Those are your 2 call-in date options. So please mark your calendars for those, and we'll have a different club spotlight for our October call, which then goes into the month of November, and a different subject matter. So each quarter, again, as I mentioned, we're going to be focusing on one area of club vibrancy and relevance and sharing best practices with others. With that, I am going to, let's see here. And I'm trying to, there we go. Oh, just a moment here, sorry. Ken, I'm trying to unmute your line and see if you have any last departing words for our group.
Thanks, Jennifer, and thanks also to Rich. That was a great program. In fact, Rich, you did such a nice job at that. I'm thinking of appointing you district go-to-meeting chair for life, so I'll talk to you offline about that in more detail. Thanks to everyone for participating. This is the first of these go-to-meetings for us, and so we're kind of working through the bugs and making sure we know how they work. I hope you find them convenient, And I know Jennifer will be following up to get your feedback just on the format as well. If you've got any suggestions for us or constructive criticism on how we might make just the process of the GoToMeeting session a little better, we're certainly willing to do that. We'd like to use this tool as much as we can, not only because the district has made an investment in it, but because it helps us conduct statewide meetings at real minimal expense in terms of travel and all of that. So thank you all for participating this morning and your interest in our district, and moreover your interest in seeing that our district prospers by increasing our membership. For those clubs, and that's most of them at this point, that I haven't been around to visit, I'm really looking forward to coming around. So far I've been to Rupert, and I was at Haley yesterday with the Haley Club, and I see Kathleen's on the line. It's been just so far, even with a couple of club visits, it's been really great to get around and see all of the good that all of our Rotary clubs are doing, and we'd like to help you do a little more good by finding a few more members. That's all the comments I have, Jennifer. Thank you all for participating today.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great day.